We are live.
Hi, can I hear you well? Let me know if the volume is too low or high.
Yes. If you can start off by introducing yourself before you get into your talk, that'd be awesome.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the holiday season, and thanks for tuning in for this talk. And thank you, Dystopia Labs and the ICF, for reaching out to us to speak in this event and organizing everything. And last year, we were at the first Interchain Conversation Summit in Berlin. And I had the chance to meet everyone in the Cosmos ecosystem, most of the validators, members at the Tendermint team, ICF, and Cosmos. I know there hasn't been many opportunities for everyone to catch up in person and attend conferences this year with the COVID situation. So I'm really glad to have the chance today to share with everyone what we've been up to, and hope everyone stays safe. And thanks for attending. So let me begin with a short introduction. My name is David Park. I've been on the Cosmostation team for the past 3 to 4 years now, working on business development, partnerships, and marketing. And if you're not familiar with Cosmostation, we are a validator node operator for the Cosmos Hub, Kava Network, Iris, and several other networks built with the Cosmos SDK. We also secure networks outside of the Cosmos ecosystem, networks like Chainlink, OAN, and several more. And many of you probably know us better as a mobile app company. And apart from being a validator node, we also build and maintain several user applications. Some of the most used products we built are, I'd say, Cosmostation Mobile Wallet, which is available on both iOS and Android, and MINScan Block Explorer, which supports the majority of networks we currently secure as a validator. We have a fairly not small, but fairly small team of 11 members, considering the range of work we're doing here at Cosmostation. And we come from a background of developing non-custodial mobile and web wallet applications for Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and several other blockchains. And when we joined the Cosmos community as a validator a couple months before mainnet launch, we naturally thought that we could make some meaningful contributions as a wallet developer. I think the game of stakes was still going on, and the only wallet interface out there was Voyager, which was a desktop client. So we launched the first ever mobile wallet for Cosmos, and later on open sourced it and continued adding more features and support for more networks. And if you haven't tried the wallet, it's non-custodial, open source, and it's being used as the wallet of choice for a lot of the users in this ecosystem. So definitely check it out. And the other main product we have, MINScan, is a block explorer for users and validators. And it's being used as the official explorer for Cosmos and Kava on most of the exchanges. So moving on from the introduction, being both a validator and a user app provider, we communicate a lot, and I mean a lot, with actual users in this ecosystem. And when I say users, some of you might think of developers or people that are fairly familiar with how blockchains work, and having at least a basic set of knowledge in the space. But when I say users, it includes everyone that comes across Cosmos on the internet, and the internet is a large audience. We get people spamming our communication channel with comments like, "Why can I not spend my Atom on my to my Ethereum address?" Or "Why can I not make transactions when I have zero available balance?" Or "I lost my seed phrase. Are you part of the Cosmos team? Can you help me find it?" Or "When IBC?" So I know these are extreme cases, but you get the point. And that's our battle. If you've been following our development, our mobile app evolved a lot over the past 2 years. When we first introduced features like redelegation, Kava CDPs, cross-chain transfers between Binance Chain and Kava Network, we couldn't really sleep, because features being updated at the protocol level is no news for validators like us or developers tracking discussions on a regular basis. But the general user has no idea of what's going on, or even if there's an article with detailed introductions and instructions. So they access the network through some end user app, run into an issue that's mostly a user bug, and immediately come to us. So we try to make the experience as frictionless as possible. First, with providing a comprehensible user interface, and second, with providing as much friendly user support as possible. So some might say that things like this will be taken care of naturally as people become more familiar with whatever feature or technology they're accessing. But it's actually also the user app developers like us that make that transition possible. So I personally think that for true adoption and expansion of the ecosystem to happen, even to those outside of this blockchain world, someone has to take care of these questions and concerns, and we're happy to do it. And we also learn a lot from our users and get to really think about our products and approach them in a different angle every time. So now let's talk about IBC. Everyone else speaking will probably give you a great technical overview. So I will focus on the end user side. Most of you are at your laptop or mobile phone right now. So if you can, type in MINScan.io in your browser right now, or I can share my screen here as well. If you take a look at MINScan right now, we did some minor work a couple months ago in preparation for IBC launch. And if you click on the tab that says Cosmos right next to the uppermost search bar, you can see that we currently support Cosmos, Iris, Kava, Starname, and Binance Chain. And before the update, all of these search bars operated individually, the search bar in the middle and on the top. Meaning that if you search for a specific transaction or a block height on the Cosmos Hub search bar, the website only showed search results for the Cosmos Hub. So one of the updates we made was consolidating all of the search bars so that even if you search for a transaction that belongs in another network, it'll show a comprehensive search result as if you're searching through all of the networks supported on MINScan at the same time. So when you type in a transaction ID for a Kava network in the Cosmos search bar, you could still get the same results. For example, I'll take a transaction ID from Kava and then type it in the Cosmos search bar. And then it'll automatically take you to the Kava Explorer. So we felt that this was a necessary change to make in preparation for IBC so that users can seamlessly jump from one network to another when they try to navigate addresses that contain interchain denoms and transactions. So on top of that, we also optimized our database to provide a much faster loading speed as we are anticipating a spike in the number of transactions after IBC and the number of users that'll be viewing the website. These are some minor changes, and we're not completely sure if this is the UI model we're going to end up following after IBC launch. And there's going to be a lot more work to be done. But it gave us some food for thought on what could be done and what shouldn't be done. And as most of you might be aware, one of the biggest value propositions for the Cosmos SDK is providing the building blocks for businesses and developers to easily put together a highly functional and reliable blockchain. And the other major value proposition is enabling the communication between these individual networks with IBC. And with IBC, the initial concept was to have a set of hubs, which are individual networks, and these hubs would have zones, which are also individual networks that would go through a central hub should there be a need for a token existing in one zone to be transferred to another hub or a zone in a different hub. After IBC launch, there will also be many hubs other than Cosmos. MINScan now supports 5 different networks, and my assumption is that it would be fairly time-consuming and partly redundant to a certain degree if we were to upgrade MINScan to support UI necessities for IBC on each of these networks, individual networks. So even now without IBC, we're getting a fair amount of requests from networks to integrate their chain on MINScan. As much as we would like to support all networks in the ecosystem, there's a limit on the range of work we can be focusing on at the same time. So with that in mind, after IBC, we will most likely begin with upgrading and testing things out on MINScan for the Cosmos Hub. And my prediction is that the Cosmos Hub is and will continue to be the central hub that will be connecting most of these major networks or zones within the ecosystem. So it makes sense for us to focus first on trying to track and organize all IBC related denoms and transactions that exist in the Cosmos Hub first. And again, we're still testing waters here, but I do feel like that's the direction we are going into at the moment. Now, if you go back to the main dashboard for the Cosmos Hub Explorer, you can see 4 boxes under the chart. And I'll give you some simple examples of the kind of things we have to consider on the UI front as we move to Stargate. In the 3rd box under the chart, there's bonded tokens, and it shows the current percentage and the amount of total token supply bonded or delegated to validators. So prior to IBC, the only token we had to consider to calculate and display was Atom. And I'll share my screen here. If you look at this API call result in JSON format, you can see under the token supply that there is the UAtom denom and the amount. Before IBC, the UAtom denom was the only token type we had to consider when we displayed things like total supply, token balances, transactions, and everything else. But after IBC, there will be multiple denoms that we will have to look at. I'll move over to MINScan for Stargate testnet here. So this is a testnet explorer we put up to support Stargate E and Stargate 5. This is Stargate E. You can see all the validators participating concurrently and all the inactive validators right now. And I'll go back to the Stargate 5. Now, if you look at the API call result we get from the Stargate 5 Explorer, you can see that there are 3 different denoms under total supply and total circulating. And this means that there are 3 different types of assets currently in the network. So it looks like just a few lines added, but actually this means that there will be additional UI requirements for each of these tokens. There will be more denoms entering the network as time passes, and the list of assets will continue to grow. And the types of questions we ask ourselves is, how can we display these tokens? Where should we place them? And which ones should we highlight? You know, who decides which denoms or assets are real or have more importance? Would users want to see the full list? So a few months ago, we actually worked with the Binance X team under their fellowship program to deliver a block explorer for Binance Chain. So Binance Chain is a decentralized exchange built with the Cosmos SDK, and it already has multiple denoms. So I'll move over to the Binance Explorer to show you some more examples. If you move over to the assets page, you can see the full list of tokens that currently exist on Binance Chain. You can see their individual market cap, price, and total supply, and several other details. And if you click on one of these tokens, let's go to BNB. If you click on one of these tokens, you can see a more detailed page showing the list of addresses holding this token, their quantities, their rich list, transactions. And of course, with IBC, some of the details here and the way we display and categorize these numbers might be different because it will be different. And for example, the token names will have to be standardized in a different way. Denoms representing tokens that came to the Cosmos Hub through IBC will also have prefixes or formats that indicate where the token initially came from. And their transaction details will also contain some information on the transaction types and transaction IDs that originated from the other chain. So since this is a user app, we would have to think of ways to design and display these values in a comprehensible way, and without making it too different from the current UI. And we can't be showing the whole denom the way it's displayed in our API, or so we'd have to think of a standard vocab or a format for things like that. And some other questions would be, are amounts for these denoms showing up to 6 decimal places like Cosmos, or do they have different standards? How much longer can the denom be? So these are only some examples, and there will be many other points we would have to think of in order to really figure out which parts are important to our users to experience and navigate through a post-IBC Cosmos hub. And since we are on the Binance Chain Explorer, let's talk about interchain transfers from Binance Chain to Kava Network. Interchain transfers on Binance Chain is fundamentally different from IBC, but this gives you a basic idea of what IBC might look like from the user's point of view. Our mobile app supports interchain transactions from Binance Chain to Kava Network, and also the other way around. And this is called a BP3 transaction. And this isn't really a truly decentralized approach to inter-blockchain communication, but it also has relayers in the middle, like Cosmos, that lock and issue tokens coming in and out of the network to reach another network. And as I mentioned earlier in our talk, we have a lot of experience talking to our users, real users, getting feedbacks and iterating our product to fit their needs. And one of the problems the average user runs into the most while using the interchain transfer feature is actually issues with this relayer. What happens is that the relayer goes offline. You know, what happens if the relayer goes offline and the user tries an interchain transaction? We have a fair amount of users using the BP3 feature on the wallet daily, and issues like this happen a lot. And each time there's an issue with the relayer, they either email us or come to our Telegram room to figure out what's going on. And again, if you're a developer or someone closely following the Cosmos community channels, you would probably already be aware of what the issue may be. But from the average user's point of view, it's the application that isn't responding to whatever action they're trying to do, and they come to us. So once IBC opens up, there will be multiple relayers, and there will be multiple channels from one network to another with users trying to use them all at the same time. Maybe something like this could be resolved by providing a comprehensive overview or live feed of relayer availability on MINScan, Stargate, or on the mobile app even. So our job is to first of all make the user experience as frictionless as possible, and also provide as much backup support and front-end information to mitigate overhead of communicating to our users any new developments or issues. Yeah, I think we're almost at the end of this session, and this is all I have for today. I thought I would go about like 25 minutes, but I ended up speaking a bit faster. And yeah, I hope this talk gave you a general idea of what we will be working on in preparation for IBC. And a lot of the things I talked about here are still in a gray area, as we will have to figure things out and really find out the needs of our users once IBC goes live. So we're planning on doing as much preparation as possible before IBC launch, and continue iterating to provide any new features or necessities as the network grows. So yeah, please follow our Twitter account at Cosmostation VD, and join our Telegram room to stay up to date on any new developments. And thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the rest of this conference, and there's a lot of interesting stuff I would personally also like to listen to, so stay tuned in. And I think I'll be able to do one or two questions before I go off the morning, so feel free to type in, and I'll.
Very cool. It was a really great talk. Did you have a chance to answer the question and ask a question? which is there any plan to merge efforts of Kepler and KeyStation?
Oh, so Kepler and KeyStation is actually a bit different from Kepler, and we actually are in talks with Kepler very often, and we're building a web wallet. We currently have a web wallet 2.0 in the works, and we're planning on implementing both Kepler and KeyStation on it. So we're not planning on merging them, but we're definitely planning on working with them.
All right, really cool. So we're going to take a short 10-minute break, and we're going to transition to our next talk after this. Thanks so much. This was great.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.